Christine from Spotted Horse Design, and today I'm going to teach you how to make the braided puff stitch. Now this stitch is a bit of a yarn eater, but that's okay because I feel like this texture is totally worth it. You've got this really nice thick texture that is perfect for pot holders or even things like scarves if you're looking for that little extra bit of warmth. So go ahead and grab your hooks and yarn and let's get started. Okay, so to begin, you are going to make a starting chain of any even number. I am making 20 chains. So go ahead and pause this video, make your starting chain, and then I'll meet you back here to start row 1 with you. All right, once your starting chain is all finished, we are going to start working our first row of the braided puff stitch. So to begin, I want you to count 5 chains from the hook. And we're going to work a double crochet in this 5th chain from the hook. And now we're going to work our first puff stitch. We're going to go to this chain right here that is before the one we made our double crochet in. So we're going to be working into this chain here. All right, so go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook into that chain and pull up a loop. And now we're going to do that 4 more times for a total of 5 times. So yarn over, insert your hook into the chain and pull up a loop. That was 2. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain and pull up a loop. That's 3. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain and pull up a loop. That's 4. Now 1 more time. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain and pull up a loop. Now you've got a plethora of loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over 1 final time and pull through all of those loops. And now you're going to chain 1. And now your first puff stitch is made. All right, so now we're going to skip 1 chain. This is the next chain. Now this one, you might be tempted to think that this is the chain you skip because it's kind of already up because you've already worked into it. So it can look like it's an unworked chain, but really if you dig through here, you can see that is where you made that double crochet stitch before. So don't let this chain fool you. This is technically the next chain and the one that you need to skip. And we're going to work into this chain. So you're going to make a double crochet stitch into that chain. And you're going to chain 1. And now you're going to go back to this skipped chain here. We're going to work the puff stitch again. So yarn over, insert your hook into that chain and pull up a loop. That's 1. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain and pull up a loop. That's 2. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain and pull up a loop. 3. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, pull up a loop. 4. Last time, yarn over, insert your hook into the chain and pull up a loop. Now you're going to pull through all of these loops on your hook and then chain 1. Nope. There we go. All right, now you've got 2 puff stitches. All right, so moving forward, once again, this chain, you've already worked into this chain. Sometimes it can look deceiving. So this is really the chain that you want to skip. We're going to work our double crochet into this chain here. And now chain 1. And now you're going to go back to this skipped chain. And you're going to work your puff stitch. So you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop 5 times, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, all those loops on your hook. Now you'll yarn over and pull through all of those loops and chain 1. All right, I'm going to walk you through that one more time, and then I'll leave you on your own to finish up the rest of your starting chain. So once again, don't let this deceive you. You've already worked into this chain. This is the chain we need to skip, and now we're going to work a double crochet in this next chain. And now you're going to chain 1. And now we're going to go back and work into this skipped chain. So we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then yarn over and pull through all of those loops and chain 1. So you're going to continue to repeat these steps all the way until you reach the end of your starting chain, and then you're going to end with 1 double crochet in this very last chain. So you're going to make your last set of 2, right? Your double crochet and your puff stitch in the second and third to last chains, and then in the very last chain you're going to end with a double crochet. So go ahead and pause this video, and I'll meet you back here to finish up this row. We'll put in that last double crochet together, and then we'll start row 2. All right, so once you've gotten to the end of your starting chain, you should have 1 last chain left, and you're just going to work a double crochet in this very last chain. And this is what your first row of puff stitches should look like. Now, don't worry, it's going to look like, it's going to curl a little bit like this. That's okay. It's going to straighten out as you add more rows on top of it. So don't worry if your work is curling like this. All right, so moving on to row 2, you're going to chain 3 and turn your work. Now I want you to note this first space here at the beginning. This is going to be our first chain 1 space. Okay, so we're going to skip over this and we're going to work our next stitch in this next space here. Now this row, row 2, and every other row after this, we're only going to be working in the spaces between the puff stitches. So it's going to be really easy to find. So again, we're going to skip this. This counts as our first space. So we're going to skip this and we're going to work a double crochet in this next space. And then chain 1. And now we're going to go back to this space here and we're going to work our puff stitch just like you did in row 1. So you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop 5 times to make your puff stitch. And then once your puff stitch is made, chain 1. All right, so now we're going to work into, so we worked our first double crochet in this space here. We're going to move on to this space. We're going to come back to this space, but we're going to go to this space first, okay? So you're going to work a double crochet in this next space and chain 1. And now you're going to go back to this space where you made your first double crochet in, and you're going to work your puff stitch in this space here. And chain 1. All right, and this is what your row should start looking like. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next chain 1 space. Okay, so we worked that double crochet in this space. We're going to move on to this space, but then come back to this space. Okay, so work a double crochet in that unworked space. and chain 1. And now you're going to go back to this space and work your puff stitch. And chain 1. All right, so our next set, so again, we made that double crochet in this space. We're going to skip it for now and move to the next unworked space. We're going to make a double crochet in this next space and chain 1. And now we're going to move back to this space and work our puff stitch. All right, I'm going to walk you through the next set, and then I'm going to leave you to finish up this row on your own. So once again, we're going to skip this space for now that we've already worked into, and we're going to go to the next unworked space and make a double crochet. And chain 1. And now go back to this space and work your puff stitch. Now chain 1. So go ahead and repeat these steps all the way until you get to the end of the row. And then we're going to have to make one final double crochet at the end of this row as well. So I'll walk you through that though. So go ahead and just finish up these steps until you get to the end of this row. Pause this video, and then I'll meet you back here to finish up that last stitch with you. Okay, so I actually wanted to pop in really quick before I get to my very last stitch, just in case if you're unsure of where to place your hook for this last set of double crochet and puff stitches. So once you've gotten to your last 3 stitches, or last 2 stitches rather, this here at the end, that's going to count as your last chain 1 space. Okay, so you're going to work your double crochet in that last space, chain 1, and now you're going to go back and work your puff stitch just as you have been. And then chain 1. And now remember this space, we're going to work another double crochet in this space just to keep things even on the edges here. So just go ahead and work 1 double crochet in this last space just to finish up our row. All right. And now your second row is complete. Now you'll notice that you do still have a little bit of a curl, but it's not as prominent as it was on just the first row. And like I said, don't worry about that. It's going to continue to even out the more rows that you put on this. And that, my friends, concludes this tutorial. You are just going to continue to repeat this second row over and over and over again until your work looks like this. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I hope that this gives you another fun stitch idea to use for your next crochet project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.